Hello everyone, welcome back. I am actually going to attempt to do a voiceover today. Excuse me. Last week it just wasn't happening. This week it still might not because I am so tired. I just haven't had good night's sleeps the last 2 nights' sleeps. I was up very late on Tuesday night, a lot later than I usually am, very much past my bedtime. And then last night my daughter just decided to be awake at 2 o'clock and not go back to sleep for like an hour or two. I don't remember. Time does not make sense to me anymore. So I just haven't caught up on sleep since my very silly late night. So yeah, this is going to be an interesting little chat we're going to have. I want to talk about the ordeal I've had this week. And it's not an ordeal. I'm a dramatic person, okay? It's not that bad. But those little drawers that you see underneath the cage of my TNs at the beginning of this, like you would have seen the top of it. You would have seen a couple of them at least. My beautiful friends got that set of drawers for me for my birthday last year. And I've won last month. It was last month. My birthday was last month. And I love them. I think they're super cute. I just don't want them white. So I wanted to paint them green. Now, I don't know why, if it's just our Bunnings or I'm just stupid, but I could not find like a sample pot. I know back in the day you could get these tiny little sample pots and you can get the color that you wanted. So you know, it's a sample to see if you even like the paint. Or again, for project things like this, I didn't want to buy 4 liters of paint for $60 for this tiny little project, right? So I ended up chucking a tantrum after trying to figure it all out and going, you know what, I'm just going to try and look online. And I was getting annoyed because I wanted to do it that day. I don't know about you guys, but when I have a project in mind, I want to get it done that day, even if it's a spontaneous project. So yes, trying to find something online wasn't going to work because I wanted to get it done that day. However, I did find that Kmart is currently selling chalk paint. Not a huge range of colors. I think they've got like a gray, a pastel-y pink, and this greeny blue color. Now, when I discovered this, I think it's called a vintage green. I think is what it was called. And I was like, ooh, I want green. Green is the color I want to paint this thing, obviously. I'm a green fiend. I love green. Green's my favorite color. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to give it a go. I was looking at people like doing it on YouTube and that sort of stuff because obviously it's a Kmart paint. So people are like, does this really work? Is this worth your money? And the color that it came out on those videos looked really nice. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to compromise. I'm just going to do this because I want to get it done today. I painted it. I hated it. It just wasn't the color that I thought. And yeah, no, it wasn't happening. So I ended up sanding and stripping it all back off to the white. That's why the drawers look so dodgy now. And I did find a beautiful olive color. I think the company is called Annie Sloan. I don't know. I can't remember off the top of my head. And I am not going to look it up for you guys now. But it seems to be a pretty popular little, again, chalk paint for projects, stuff like that. So I can get a small little bottle and I can paint it properly. I, however, forgot that I was doing that and I spent my allowance. I love saying allowance as a full-grown woman, but, you know, we have a strict budget, so I have an allowance. My allowance on Muji drawers. So Muji has finally sort of got a online store. Obviously not absolutely everything is going to be on it, but it's a lot better than it was like a year ago. So I got super pumped about it. I saw on our Instagram reel these little Muji drawers that fit the mini stamps really well. I'm not going to pronounce the stamp names because I could never do it well. But yeah, and I was super pumped because I love my mini stamps. I love them. But I'm really sick of them all being in a drawer or in little baskets in my drawers. I want them to be up higher, like on my desk. So I spent the money to get those and get it shipped to me instead of the paint. So not my smartest moment, but it is on my list now. It's the second thing I'm going to do is going to paint and get all that stuff to paint the drawers. because I do love them, and I just want them to look pretty now. Because my desk is slowly coming together. I ended up getting a second desk purely for journaling, and I've got my big desk, the big thing that I've had this entire time. It's now just my computer desk and sort of like my planning desk, and for my little business, this is where I work when I do that because it is such a bigger space. I just needed 2 different stations. My husband does give me sass because our office, he has a corner and I have the rest of the room. It's hilarious. I do, because I have 2 desks and I have my big bookshelf, which is bigger than his bookshelf with all his stuff on it. But, I'm a crafter. Crafters need space. My husband plays games. All he needs is a corner. I don't know why he sasses me. But, yes. But yeah, that's the drama that I had. I was so angry at myself for throwing, I threw a tantrum for not being able to get the color that I wanted that day, and buying this $7 paint. It's a nice color. It just wasn't at all what I had hoped for. And by the time I had finished painting it and simmered down from my tantrum, I then realized, yep, awesome. I hate it. It's not going to work. It wasn't even like, oh, it's just off, or I could totally work with this. It was, nope. It was way too blue for, the kind of greens that I like do tend to be more olivey colors, so a little bit more on the yellow side of green than the blue side of green. So if that makes sense to anybody. So yes, I was quite perplexed about that. I am now in the process of staining a little box that I got from Riot, which is a Australian art and craft store. They don't have any I don't think they have physical stores anymore, or at least not in Queensland. They're all online now. So I ended up buying that. I was going to use it for my traveler's notebooks, but the box came really small. Not super small, it could fit. It just wouldn't fit all of my notebooks. So I'm using it for all my paper bits and pieces now, which is great because it's really pretty for that. But I need it. It's a very light wood, and I want it a smidgen darker to match the rest of my stuff. So, yeah, hopefully when I get it all set up, I'll do a little desk tour. I haven't done that in a long while. So hopefully we'll be able to do that soon. I'm really liking it. I do like having specifically a journal desk or a Happy Mail just for that one hobby that I do. I really like it. It's nice to have my little space where I don't have to sacrifice drawer space for, Pokemon figurines that I have now to make all my little doodads. But anyway, I think that's it. I think that's all I can really talk about. That's all I've really done. Oh my goodness. It's been a week. It's been a week. I've had my olive for a week now. I can't believe, last week I was going to do a voiceover, but I was just too excited about my olive, and I honestly have been writing nonsense in my journal. So I've made my olive my personal journal. I've moved out of the Kyoto cover to do that. And I've just been writing nonsense just so I could write in it and just experience having an olive. I cried when I got it. I'm not even joking. And people go, oh, that's so funny. No, I had tears in my eyes and they were rolling down my cheeks. I was crying. You don't understand how excited I was for this. It was great. I'm glad I have it now. And yes, it's probably my favorite thing that I've ever bought. And I've bought a lot of cool stuff. I just love it. I'm just so happy that they brought it into the regular lineup. The urge to buy another one to then cut it down to an A6 to replace my Camel is really, it's just a lot. And I don't want to do that because I don't want to be the person. You know what? I could be the person who just has green covers. Why can't I be? At the same time, no, because I'm still refusing to give up my brown passport. Look, my brown passport is my baby. It was the thing that got me into all this. I have loyalty to my brown. I have talked about this before. I will not replace it. I do want to get a passport olive, though. No idea what I would use it for, but I do want one. It's just the new stuff. You get excited for new stuff. It's great. Anyway, I am going to end here, I think. I've had my little rant. I fangirled about my olive, and I'm going to stop before I embarrass myself even further. I did admit to you guys that I cried over again, glorified dust cover. That's what they are. Let's all be real. Let's be grown up here. Yes, I'm going to go. So, bye. Thank you so much for listening and tuning in again for another week. Okay, bye.